Hello beautiful ladies, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be talking about my quarantine recommendations to watch, play, and read. So we're all in quarantine because of the coronavirus, and that has been really hard on a lot of people, and it's just been demoralizing trying to figure out what we should do with our time. The fact that we have to do social distancing as well, it's just a really tricky time for us all. But I don't want to get too much into the emotional aspect of this because I find that it actually makes everything feel a lot harder. But instead, let's talk about the stuff that is really fun that we can use our time to do while we're at home. And so the first thing I want to talk about is books. Before I start talking about all of the things that I've been enjoying kind of spending my time doing and sharing with my husband, I did want to make one recommendation for quarantine. And that is these slippers. My mother bought me these slippers from Target and I have been absolutely obsessed. I think having a comfortable pair of slippers during this whole thing is a lifesaver, and I've loved these. So comfortable. They're from Stars Above and I really like it. I'm gonna try and find them and link them below. But now let's get on to the main stuff I wanna talk about. So I wanted to recommend this. I got this at the dollar store and I saw it and I was like, I wonder if there's anything in here that I don't already know. It's only $1, I might as well. And when I opened this up, I really didn't believe that there was gonna be anything in here that I didn't already know or that I wouldn't be able to find on the internet. I found so many good tips in here and I love it. It's only, I think, $2.95 on Amazon, which is awesome. And this is just like a really good book full of tips for you. If you're a beginner or if you're somebody who has a lot of information about makeup, I know a lot of stuff about makeup and I still thought a lot of this was really cool and interesting. So I really recommend this if you're looking for something that you just want to read, if you're kind of tired of watching YouTube videos. Pick this up because I really like it and I think it's something nice to have in your collection. To get into some heavier reading, I read Brave New World a few months ago and I loved it. I thought it was fascinating. It's really an intense look into our society, and it's crazy to think that when this was written, so much of what he kind of predicted did happen, and a critique of how our appetites can lead us astray and make us lose meaning. The idea being that if you're constantly just feeding your appetites and not really ever taking the time to think about why we're here, then you'll pass time easily enough, but you don't actually learn anything or grow as a society or a people or as a person. So definitely pick this up. It's a fast read and worth reading too. Another novel that I recommend is called Daughter of the Forest. It's actually the first of a series of novels, and I think that they are fantastic, really worth the read. So underrated. People just don't talk about them, and I don't even remember how I came across it. I must have just picked it up at the bookstore. I love these books. I think that they are well written and have such an incredibly interesting story, so check those out too. My next recommendation is what I'm reading during this. It's this new Erik Larson book. I love Erik Larson. I loved Devil in the White City. I read all the rest of his books. I think the only one I didn't finish was Isaac Storm, but I've been reading this one. It's a really interesting look at Churchill. It's called The Splendid and the Vile, and I picked this up at Costco for like half price, but I don't know where you can get it. You can probably get it at a few places. I really am enjoying it and I'm learning a lot. And that's kind of what I like about Erik Larson, is that I feel like I'm learning, but I'm also enjoying it as I'm learning because it's written almost in the style of fiction. This one, I will say, is slightly heavier than Devil in the White City. It feels more like history. It feels more like, okay, we're learning here, but still really fascinating, really enjoying it. And if you guys want to read along with me, go ahead. And for something super light, and if you're just looking for something to relax and you don't really want to watch TV, but instead you want to find something that's just a relaxing read, I really highly recommend Sophie Kinsella books. I think they're really fun, and I always enjoy reading them when I'm feeling a little bit down, or if I just kind of want to like relax and not think too much about bad things happening. This is a really good book. This is her latest one. She has a bunch though that are really fun, and I don't like her Shopaholic series as much as I like her standalone novels. I've Got Your Number is another one I really enjoy, but this is her newest one and it's very cute and very fun to read, and it's an easy read. So recommend this one too. For some things to watch, my husband and I have been watching Deadwood during this quarantine, and it is very intense. A lot of swearing, not very appropriate, but the characterizations are amazing. And I love how every character in the show, even the side characters, are totally fleshed out. It's really fascinating. If you're okay with watching swearing and a little bit of like inappropriate content, then I think it's worth investing your time in. Another show I want to recommend is called Slings and Arrows. It's just a really cool story that follows this theater company as they're putting on Shakespeare and delving into Shakespeare's works, which, oh my gosh, that speaks to me. So if you want to be classic, definitely read Shakespeare, look into Shakespeare, watch operas that are Shakespeare. That's my recommendation, but definitely recommend Slings and Arrows. Really cool look at all of that stuff. It's not a documentary, it's an actual series, and it's fantastic. The acting is great, the story is great, and there's some twists and turns that I'm not gonna give away that are pretty fun. Lastly, a lot of opera companies right now are streaming live performances. The Met is streaming all of their Met in HD performances. They're doing one a night, and you can just tune in and watch, and that's a really good opportunity to watch operas without having to pay for it. It's free, so I would totally recommend doing that. Find an opera that you think might be good if you've never seen one, or one that you already love, and just sit down and watch it with the whole family. I think that's a really cool thing that these opera companies are doing, bringing opera to everyone during this really hard time. And if you are a beginner, I'd recommend The Magic Flute, La Bohème, La Traviata, Carmen. Those are good ones to start with. I don't know if they've already kind of put those in the lineup, but check it out and see. Now, talking about things to play, my husband and I have been playing a couple of different video games. We've been playing Witcher 3 for a while now, but I love this game. We actually started playing this because we watched the TV show, and my husband actually owned this game a long time ago and really hadn't played through it, and we started playing through it after watching the TV show because I thought the TV show had a really interesting concept, but I didn't love the way that they actually implemented it, and realized that, oh, you can play video games that are almost like watching a movie. I'm not a big video game person. I like video games where it feels like you are in a story and you are getting to watch these cutscenes that feel like a film. And Witcher 3 is definitely like that. It's like watching a movie. So I really like that. My husband plays the game. I just sit and watch most of the time. Sometimes I play myself, but generally not. I really think that it is a fun use of time to do with another person, and it feels like you're a little bit more active. Another video game my husband and I just got is called Vampire, and it's about a guy who turns into a vampire during the Spanish flu. And we're just at the beginning of this game, so I don't know exactly how it's all gonna play out, but I like it because it's similar to The Witcher 3 in that it's like you're watching a movie, a lot of it. There's these cut scenes, and then you do sort of fights and whatever in between. The fights I leave to my husband. I watch the stuff that's more like a movie. And my last recommendations are some board games. My husband and I love board games. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll constantly see that in my stories. I'm sharing pictures of us playing. We have a lot of board game nights. We play together alone. And I love board games. So a couple of my recommendations. One is Scattergories. I love Scattergories. It's a way for me to kind of test my brain and see what I can come up with. And sometimes I'm absolutely horrible at it. My husband is really good at it, actually. But I just think it's fun to see kind of what I can come up with. But I think it's really fun and worth purchasing if you can find it. Now, a bigger commitment game, if you're looking for a really big game, but you're looking for a game that's just for 2 people, it's called Gloomhaven. And it's really fun. You work through certain scenarios, trying to fight as a team to beat certain obstacles. It's like being in a video game, but it's a board game. And I really like it. I'm not huge on a lot of board games that are like more complicated, but this is one I really enjoy. So check that out. It's kind of expensive, but if you're willing to play a legacy game, if you like board games a lot, this might be a good fit for you. Another board game that I think is for more people, but I actually think is really fun, is called Above and Below. And again, I'll link these all below. It's like a fun economic board game, and I don't know if I can explain it that well, but I really like the art and I like the gameplay too, because again, there are these kind of stories that you play out as you explore, and they have you read them in scenarios, and it's like choose your own adventure. And I like that aspect of it. There's a lot of other aspects of it too, but I like that game a lot too. Let me know in the comments below what you guys have been doing to keep up your spirits during this quarantine, and what games you've been playing, what books you've been reading, what shows you've been watching. I'd really love to hear all of that. Any and all recommendations are welcome in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please subscribe to my channel and blog if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to get notified of all of my new videos. Head over to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook and follow me there. Please head over to classicallyabby.locals.com if you want to see more of this content and support my channel. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!